Before everything went south, Cynthia wasn't always a Lekki babe. In fact, she was a soft-spoken and decent girl who grew up in Egbeda with her mom and 2 siblings. She was 13 years old when her father ran away one morning with another woman and never came back. Being the first child, she was old enough to understand just how much pain and suffering her mother endured. That incident took a huge toll on her, reshaping Cynthia's character and mindset. "Me, I no go suffer for this life forever," became her new motto. At 20, she moved in with her friend in Lekki. That was where everything changed. Lekki was different. Every girl looked like they stepped out of a music video. Clean wigs, flashy nails, latest iPhones. They always had soft bodies and were living soft lives. Most of them had flat tummies, wide hips, big butts, and they never seemed to work. Just vibes, clubs, and link-ups. Cynthia felt like an outsider, so she tried rebranding. She changed her accent and even began to introduce herself as CeeCee Money, all with the goal of becoming a Lekki babe. She started selling clothes online, but the money barely covered the lifestyle she planned on living. She watched how her roommate, Riri, would dress up at night and come back in the morning with new wigs, perfumes, and wads of cash. Sometimes it was a new phone. One night, Riri came back home with a 2016 Mercedes-Benz C300. That moment was when Cynthia couldn't hide her curiosity anymore. She asked, without beating around the bush, "Abeg, where did they go get all these things?" Riri laughed and said, "Now you go carry suffering for your head, o. Baby girl life no hard." That was the beginning. Riri became her mentor. First, it was parties with older men. Then Dubai, then Ghana, then back to Lagos with dollars. Cynthia was balling, as people would say. Her Instagram account was buzzing with new followers and admirers, but even with all that, she still didn't feel like she had arrived. Her body was still regular. Men would pick her friend over her. Brands would skip her for influencer jobs. And it stung. Badly. She had the face, but not the body. No hips, no butts, and no hourglass shape. She tried waist trainers, gyms, and herbal teas, but nothing worked. Every time she opened Instagram, it was the same thing. Girls with tiny waists and big butts, posting from private jets, yachts, and cyber trucks. Cynthia started to believe that if she didn't have the body, she would always be second. The final straw came at a pool party when one of the men she had been texting for months finally showed up and walked past her to a curvy girl in a thong bikini. She didn't even get a hi. That night, Cynthia cried in her bathroom, looking at herself in the mirror, whispering, "This is not my real body. I swear, I was meant to have nyash." So, she made a decision. She was going to get a BBL. She started researching BBL clinics, from the ones in Lagos to Ghana to Turkey. She was living well, but couldn't really afford the top clinics in Lagos, and the ones in Turkey were too expensive. Moreover, Riri's major sponsor had just ghosted the both of them. Then she came up with an idea. A terrible, unbelievable idea. She stopped posting for a month and 2 weeks. One morning, she created a fake Instagram post saying, "We regret to inform the public that our friend CeeCee has been battling fibroid complications for months and has been in and out of surgery. At this moment, she is in a life and death situation, and we have exhausted almost all of her savings just to see her well again. Please, we are begging her fans and people who genuinely care to help this beautiful soul in need by helping us raise 20 million naira to cover her hospital bills and expenses." She added crying emojis, bought a hospital bed and IV drip on Gigi, snapped a few pictures and photos of herself wearing a scarf, looking pale with no makeup, tubes taped to her hands, and attached an OP account. Then she switched off her phone. Within 48 hours, money started pouring in. Old friends, former clients, even one of her sugar daddies had dropped 5 million naira without blinking. Influencers reposted. Her secondary school group chat raised 500,000 naira in one night. By the third day, she had over 30 million naira. She quietly deleted the posts and went offline again. 2 weeks later, Cynthia was in Istanbul. Her surgery was handled by a Turkish doctor that most Lagos girls worshipped online. She booked a VIP BBL package. Round hips, snatched waists, full lipo, luxurious healing suite, massage therapist, the full works. She also bought a new iPhone, designer bags, human hair bundles, and some new clothes to match the body. By the time she got back to Lagos, she didn't just look different. She moved differently. Her walk had slowed. Her hips had a rhythm. Every room she entered paused. She went from one of those pretty girls to that girl. And of course, she rebranded. New Instagram handle at CeeCee the It Girl. New bio, God's favorite girl, healing and evolving. New caption style, they prayed for my downfall, but grace said no. The most surprising part, nobody remembered she was supposed to be fighting for her life in a hospital bed. Everyone was just focused on the body, the glow up, the slay. She started getting invites to exclusive parties, brand deals, appearances. Men were DMing her in bulk. Everyone wanted a piece of CeeCee the It Girl. Everything was going smoothly, but it didn't take long before someone started talking. One day, one of the big gossip blogs posted with the caption, POV, when someone buys hospital bed just to fake sickness and do fundraising for BBL. A photo emerged from an anonymous sender of Cynthia in a plastic surgery clinic in Turkey. The other blogs didn't hesitate. Exclusive. Lekki influencer scams Nigerians with fake sickness to fund BBL abroad. The story spread like wildfire. People were pissed, especially those who donated. One woman even commented, "I gave this girl 20K from my POS shop. She said she was dying." Another said, "Na people like this, they make people know they donate again. She scammed us all." Within days, she lost brand deals. A few of her new friends ghosted her. One of her sugar daddies even demanded his money back. Her account was reported so many times that it got shadow banned. The hate DMs were non-stop. But Cynthia didn't flinch. The following week, she posted a photo of herself on a yacht, wearing a new blonde wig and a two-piece bikini, sipping rosé. The caption read, "This life no balance, but I dey sit well." She never said sorry, never admitted guilt. Because in her mind, it wasn't fraud. It was survival. And in Lekki, survival didn't always mean honesty. It meant looking the part. It meant winning. Even if you had to lie, beg, or bleed to get there. The body brought her followers, but the lies gave her a bad image. No matter how snatched her waist is or how fine her pictures look, some people still remember the scam. They still talk and whisper, but no one says anything to her face. Because deep down, everyone knows someone who has done worse. In the end, survival at the expense of truth always comes at a cost, no matter how little or how grave. Cynthia is still living the Lekki big babe lifestyle, but the hype dulled down. She lost a significant amount of followers and some deals from genuine brand, but she still posts regularly on Instagram, although her DMs are usually quiet these days. Her story fades like all scandals do. New drama replaces old gossips. New girls replace old names. But for those who remember, she remains a legend or a warning, depending on who is telling the story.